Of fireworks to light the fuse. Here is Pete Falcone.
Green flag is in the air, and the front row takes off, including that 151 of Bert Ouellette trying to lead from the inside. Anthony Marvin hanging tough on the outside in the 07.
Sticking his nose in there, John O'Sullivan in the 15 as he tries to scalpel his way. Underneath Marvin is on the verge of doing that. Then we have two of the young guns behind him. It is Brian Narducci on the outside and Stephen Chapman on the inside.
Yeah, they are nose to tail right there, and side by side, about 3 rows back as they head out of turn 2 and down the backstretch now. There's a move by Chapman down on the inside in the number 14, going against O'Sullivan for that second spot.
And then Sullivan, he is almost tied to the shirt tail with Stephen Chapman as they dig into turn number 1. Chapman has second, O'Sullivan third, but right in the mix is Brian Sullivan.
Yeah, down the backstretch again. Chapman in that number 14, taking the inside lane underneath O'Sullivan in that race for the second spot. It is close. It is Chapman by just a nose across the stripe.
And he is able to maybe expand that to about a cookie crumb. And O'Sullivan fighting back on the outside. Alexander Pearl having a strong run. He is in 5th, and he is 1 notch ahead of his cousin, Brian Narducci. Narducci, by this time, he is normally flirting with the lead. That is not the case.
Yeah, as they head off of turn 2 and down the backstretch, Ouellette has a mirror full of competition with O'Sullivan closing in that number 15 right now. Chapman is there, and Sullivan is outside of him, so they are nose to tail down the front stretch.
The top 6 cars could fit in a bird's nest. Doing the chirping right now, Stephen Chapman, as he comes from the inside to take over the lead from Ouellette. So Stephen Chapman will lead everybody into the 3rd corner, but not by much. Here comes Brian Sullivan behind him.
Yeah, he got a great run out of 2, but Bert Ouellette is hanging tough up there on the outside. You're right, Sullivan is on the move down on the inside. He's got a good run going as he's fighting the inside of Ouellette to try and take the spot away.
Brian Sullivan has not competed on this track for 8 years. Back in his modified days in the Thompson division, he is in 2nd. Now Narducci has come to life as he tries to steamroll his way underneath Ouellette.
Yeah, he tries it down on the low side and picks up a spot. He'll go to 4th in that 0-1. Right behind him is O'Sullivan, and those top 5 race down into turn 3.
And ready to make a move, Alexander Pearl going sideways. Pearl in trouble. He is in the grass. So Alexander Pearl, that is outside of Bert Ouellette. So that is a very competitive second row. Bert Ouellette, in the last 3 weeks, he has really gotten fast.
Yeah, he has found the right combination for sure and has been up front the last few times that we've seen him out here. And let's see how he does as the green flag comes back out on the field. And what a jump that outside row gets. The team of Chapman and Narducci will lead it down into turn number 1.
And Chapman will have the upper hand. Here comes Narducci. Gets by Sullivan for 2nd. When will he make that dive bomb move of which he is famous? In 4th is Pulio. Ouellette is 5th. Burrows is 6th. But here comes Narducci trying to lightning bolt his way underneath Chapman.
He'll pull up behind him and follow him down into turn 1. Figure out the situation. See what lanes Chapman is using and try to take one that he is not as he hammers right on the back bumper, that number 14, going into turn 3.
Well, driving with Narducci is like driving on top of a landmine. You know it's going to explode, but when? Right now, Narducci is content to ride it out in 2nd. Brian Sullivan right behind him in 3rd. We have a pretty good battle shaping up for 5th and 6th between Ouellette and Burrows. Then it is O'Sullivan, and trying to take a shot against him down low is that number 13 of Cameron Sontag. But Chapman stretching his lead at the front of the field.
Yeah, he's picked up a couple of lengths over the last couple of laps, but Narducci all by himself in the 2nd spot, although Sullivan now starting to reel him in, and Sullivan bringing with him the Pulio number 57, as that's a pretty good race up at the front.
And Puleo seems to be getting stronger as he goes to the high groove, tries that out. A little mountain climbing, and when he dive bombs back down, he is still in 4th place behind Brian Sullivan, making a move against Willett. That is Wayne Burrows in car number 32 as he tries to slither his way underneath the 151, and Burt Willett is giving up ground very grudgingly today.
Yeah, as he is really making Burrows work for it down on the inside. Plenty of company there, too. O'Sullivan trying to come back in the 15 as they race down through the 3rd and 4th turn. Roulette is in charge. Burrows working the inside, and O'Sullivan right there. They're nose to tail across the stripe.
A pretty good dive bomb move by Puleo on the last lap. Almost got him by Brian Sullivan as Puleo trying to infiltrate the podium. Best battle continues to be between Willett and Burrows. When they hit the line, we'll be down to the final 5. And Stephen Chapman, looking for his first ever Thompson victory, is in command. But we have a restart between Narducci and Chapman. Chapman is elected to go on the outside. We'll see if that strategy works as we get back up to speed.
Green flag is in the air, and Chapman on the outside of Narducci will pull him down the front stretch, and Narducci will pull up behind him and follow him through the 1st and 2nd turn. Sullivan gets a good run, too, with the 11 for 3rd, and now outside Puleo in the number 57.
Chapman around. Knocking him into him was Puleo. Is on the sideline. Chapman is on the sideline, and in the lead is Brian Sullivan. He is elected to go the high route against John O'Sullivan as our field comes back to life.
Green flag is in the air with just a handful of laps left, and a great start for Sullivan. Like shot out of a cannon, goes back to the lead, and will take the rest of the field with him. No, maybe a little too soon because caution flag comes back out.
Of Glenn Griswold and the 45 of Ed Chikowski. Then we have McDougal in the 19, Burrows in the 32, Willett in the 151, Puleo in the 57, followed by Janish and Pearl.
There's the green flag, and the same result, a great launch by Sullivan to get into the lead and bring the rest of the field with him down into turn 1.
And this one is not coming back, so a big lead for Brian Sullivan. Second is a battle between the 15 of John O'Sullivan, Glenn Griswold, the old warhorse, trying to gallop his way around the 15. They head to the line. Griswold has the edge.
Yeah, by a nose across the stripe as he's trying to get around O'Sullivan and get firmly into that spot, but O'Sullivan hangs tough on the inside. Now, Griswold is able to clear him and get into a clear second spot as they race through the 3rd and 4th turn.
Remember, Alexander Pearl was at the rear of the field. He is not there anymore. He is challenging Chikowski for the number 4 position. So 43 has climbed out of the dungeon and into 4th place.
Yeah, he's got a good run going, considering that he's had to come from the back twice now in this main event. But it's all Sullivan as he comes across the stripe well out in front. Got just 3 laps to go.
Well, can Pearl get 2 for the price of 1 as he makes a bold move? Gets underneath O'Sullivan. Let's see if he can make it stick there. O'Sullivan is fighting back in car number 15. Griswold in second, but here comes Pearl. He is the live wire trying to shock and awe his way around both O'Sullivan and Griswold.
He's got 2 laps to get it done as they go under the 2-lap signal here across the stripe. Here is Pearl again, hanging tough on the inside of Griswold. A drag race down the backstretch into turn 3.
And it looks like Pearl is going to get it done. Moving into second. He was in 9th on the restart. Brian Sullivan, 1 more lap to go. What a comeback story this will be. Here is Sullivan in the 2nd turn. He is leading by almost a straightaway. Some problems behind him, but here is Brian Sullivan. 1 turn away from an improbable victory.
Checkered flags are in the air, and Sullivan will win it. Pearl will finish 2nd. Here's the race for 3rd. That'll go to Griswold, followed by O'Sullivan and Burrows.
And then it will be pulling.
And what a great it is. Very happy down here. Great kind of homecoming for you, I guess.
Yeah, it's been 9 years since I ran here, but I won here the last time here, so I remember how to get here anyway. Just worked on it all day. I think I was a little rusty and worked on the car. We got it close. I think we're a top 3 car. I hate to see what happened to Steven there, and 01 just kind of drove right through his left rear. But got to thank everyone that came today, my dad and Mark Hilton for the help, Glenn and Bill and Jim and Rick and Ron, everyone, Steven and Sumner, everyone back at the shop, and Rich Vassar, Carlin over here, best Carlin around, Vassar Landscaping, BSR, Monica Ford, Bill Neiman, Mike Smeriglio. I mean, there's just a list of people that helped me. Dan Cates, DRC Electric, just so many people that helped me put this thing together to come have a little fun.